guys, didn't see you there.
This is an official Rask update. We've got some cool
Yes.
stuff for you guys. What you doing there?
What am I doing? Just trying to rework a blade for the third time. It's one of those things where I got it like all the way done. I was literally assembling it. It was sharpened and everything, and then I saw like a bunch of big just dents in the corner that I totally missed coming out of Stonewash the first time. So
Dents are from the tumbling?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it got stuck in one of these or something, but there was like just all along the
Not
the
common.
corner.
Like that doesn't normally happen.
Never happened before.
Yeah, but
So like I'd never seen it, but then I of course had to go back and buff it out and then throw it back in the tumbler and
Right.
ruin my sharpened edge. And, but yeah, one of those things where just doing the right quality control at the moment is very important because
But you let it slip.
yeah, let it slip a little bit or try to do too many at once or try to go too fast and be too productive.
Yeah.
And then things just get carried away. So try that
There you
off
go.
for now.
We have something to show you guys. Let's go that way. All right. Well, so first we got 189, 186. We got a bunch of Rasks in progress right now. Big reveal. Oh. That's like 100 knives right there.
Yeah, and then another 75 down here.
Yeah, that looks more like 400.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, guys, this is a ton of knives. I don't know if we've ever had this many knives, finished knives in one spot.
No, not all at once.
We've been waiting for new shipping cases to come in, and now that they're finally
And
in, we
nano
can-
oil and wrenches.
Yeah,
and
there's
weird.
a lot of stuff on the go. But now we can finally ship all these.
Yeah. Really excited to see them go and see that stress of keeping these in stock sitting here for 2 weeks. Just get rid of all that feeling.
Yeah, it'll be good. And then you can replace them and then ship them and then get into a good flow. All right, show me some of your beautiful hard work. So I make the parts and Eric makes them pretty. Basically, I machine the parts and then I hand it all off to Eric. He does, him and Barry, they do the heat treating, the surface grinding that you go on.
Stone washing, buffing, polishing, sharpening, assembling,
Anodizing.
setting up, and then shipping and all that.
Right. Basically beautifying.
Yeah.
So show me
Taking
your...
machine parts and making them a knife.
Right. You know, a lot of people think that these are just CNC machine knives and you slap it together and put it together, but
Right.
this beard doesn't happen by itself.
Yeah. Like, that's a blade off the mill, which, I mean, a lot of the work is done. I mean, all the shaping and everything, but all of that, it's not easy to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So it's not like just assembling it right off the machine. You know, these are a little bit more in the works.
About halfway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, every surface gets kissed and loved
Yeah.
and licked
And
by
ground and polished and then thrown on the tumbler.
you. Right.
But some of the...
So we got DLC parts.
Yeah.
This is the black coating.
Yeah, it's been fun, to say the least, working with them and trying to get, you know, what we want out of the coating.
What we
itself.
want is perfection.
Yeah. But when you have other people do work, they don't always understand the level that you're trying to achieve. So you kind of have to make that apparent over and over again.
Yep.
So some of the ones I really like, actually, are just with the hardware being DLC. Just that little touch of black.
Yeah, on a nice blue anodized.
Yeah. And yeah, none of these are like cleaned up, so they're all
Look at
fingerprinted
the
and
back
stuff.
spacers on that one.
Yeah.
There's a beauty.
And no, you can't have one like this. But yeah, that one's completely unique.
Yeah, normally we have a machine pattern, like this is our angled pattern. whereas this is a smooth on both sides pattern, which is something we don't do. But the guy pushed us hard enough, and we accepted. And
yeah, and it's kind of fun sometimes.
yeah, I want to see it. I wanted to see it done. So it looks amazing. But
yeah. Yeah. Is that more DLC?
Two-tone starburst. What are those colors?
That's gold and purple.
Gold or purple.
Oh, it was Maker's Choice. So yeah, gold and dark blue, purple.
Sweet. The Maker's Choice ones are fun because you get to play around and.
Yeah. Not confined by the man.
I love this straight up gold and blue.
They do stand out.
Or gold and black looks really good too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an old clip here or somewhere so I can show the new clip versus the old clip?
Yeah.
So we did a little. That guy?
Yeah, that would work.
We did. Just put him on the table right here. When I first designed the Rask clip, I designed it kind of silly way, but if you see the back of the clip there, this is not the best example.
This one.
There we go. All right, you see this is the old style. It's got 3 distinct bevels, like a vertical and then a, 20 and then a 45-degree angle. And both Eric and Barry, who are trying to Scotch-Brite these tiny little milling marks out before the tumbler, because we don't want to see these horizontal gashes going around the part after tumbling, they asked me to try to improve, because the 3 different angles, it's just too many surfaces to really keep clean and easy to surface them. So I ended up changing the whole thing. It took a while to do, but now it's a full corner radius, but I'm not using a corner radius end mill just because of all the clearances and constraints and everything. So I'm 3D machining this with a ball mill, stepping down, 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 leaving a really awesome finish. Which, does it take polishing? Tiny bit?
Just a tiny touch of the Scotch-Brite wheel to kind of blend the pattern and the roundness, the chip corner rounder. Which probably could be cleaned up even more in Fusion.
In milling? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm doing
maybe
good.
A little bit, but other than that, we touch them anyway to deeper just a little bit on the backside. So buzzing those here is so much easier than trying to keep those flat and nice.
Yeah, and without ruining the 3 different angles.
Exactly.
And
that was the big problem.
It's one of those things I don't know what I was thinking. I just thought it'd be cool to let's do this and this and this, and it'll kind of go to that, and then.
Well, it'll work with the chamfers on the handles, and
that was the other thing. Putting a corner rounder here and having chamfers on the handle everywhere else seemed kind of silly, but it totally works.
Yeah, I like the way it looks now.
Yeah, it does look really clean now.
Yeah.
I quite like that. All right. Give me something else. Show me a striped Damasteel. You briefly showed me earlier.
Yeah, that was the DLC one.
I posted a picture of the striped Damasteel on Instagram today, and I had several comments. People were like, that is my favorite one.
And we really weren't sure how we were going to like this before we...
Okay, let's go up on the light.
I
was on the fence. It is really cool. As somebody said, it looks a lot like a Norseman, how it's got the steps.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true, it does. And with your deep etch, you really feel,
Yeah, it does feel like a Norseman, actually.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
Looks really cool into the plunge.
It's funny, if you look at just the flat here, when I saw the Damasteel blade material, just the flat material, all you see are these big, ugly splotches of flat. Normally in the Damasteel, you see all these swirls and everything, and this material, I'm looking at it going, man, this is not going to look good, until you contour into it, and then it reveals all the layers. Sweet.
And then I guess this one.
Yeah, this is for one of our buddies.
Yeah, and this guy's a big-time machinist and wanted raw handles.
Right, so these handles are completely off the machine. They've not been tumbled or polished or anything, right?
Yeah, same with the pivot.
Normally you polish the pivots up really nice.
Yeah.
And they're good off the machine, but they're not.
Yeah, they're
not Eric good.
I did take liberties on the blade because
right. It's Damasteel.
Yeah.
Which pattern is that?
Odin's high? Odin. Wrong.
I think it was up one.
No, it's here. It's just the wrong. I don't know anymore. I think it was one of the
Odenheim. I think.
Odin,
Yeah.
no, Odenheim was bigger eggs. I don't know. One of those.
It does look awesome.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
Deep etched, polished a lot.
And I wish I had my macro lens on this just to show you close up of the handles. Nice Damasteel clip there. But like, I'm super impressed with the machining that we've gotten.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not just because we have a Moriseki. It's difficult to make amazing parts. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of good work. And I know because I have an Eric that tells me the parts are not good enough.
Yep.
And that's totally fine. But like as a machinist, you're like, damn, that looks good. And then Eric starts to polish it, and he's like, well, this is.
Well, yeah, you do one thing, like you take one of these to a disc grinder or something, and you do just one pass with sandpaper, and you just see how pronounced all the individual steps and lines are in the grinding, that just off of milling, it looks really nice. So
Yeah, until you just cut through it and you realize that there's peaks and valleys, there's high points and low points that you can't really see with your eye. Same for end mills. Like, end mills develop a chip that you can't really see without a loop, and then it develops a chip around the outside of the part. So we replace our end mills fairly early, even though they still look good.
Yeah, I inspect the parts and always wait to see, you know, a line halfway through the chamfer or something, and you know there's a chip there.
Right. So yeah, it's really sweet to make to be able to make our friend a knife that has raw handles and be really proud of it, you know?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
Right, not need a ton of post-finishing to make a good product. It's awesome that we can do that.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, on one hand, a lot of the knives are very similar. They're just varying colors, varying options. We offered a lot of different choices with the Rask. So I mean, I'd like maybe these two are the same, but very few are identical. Okay, I see a lot of blue with silver screws.
Yeah, there are the like normal standbys, like the blue bronze.
Yeah, and that's totally cool. It kind of shows what people ended up choosing when making their knives. You know, like
A lot of people did the extra color on the clip.
I do like the contrast to the two-color clip.
Or a silver clip on blue handles or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, so we had the three different patterns: our angled pattern,
This
the
one's different.
crosshatch, and starburst pattern. I like all of them.
I think Starburst is my favorite just because you can have fun anodizing.
Yeah.
But crosshatch is just
Is this one double?
nice. Yeah.
It's like super faint.
Yeah, they're dirty.
Yeah, they're dirty, and titanium's so funny and fickle, because you see right here, like the left-hand side is clean and shiny, and the right-hand side is just a bit fingerprinty.
That's all bronze. It's not faded.
This is all bronze. So it's the fingerprints that are making it purple.
Yep.
This must be like a high voltage bronze, so it's almost purple. So a little bit of finger oil, you know, whether we have coolant on our fingers or even just whatever, the oils from your skin will alter the titanium. So it's a battle. Like, do we Windex the knives clean and ship them bright clean, or do we rub them in and make them kind of an even color? And we go back and forth every now and then. Things like the silver knives don't really care.
So one thing didn't really see, I think, right here we're at 191. So we're just about surpassing the 200 Rask mark, which we're well on our way to completing all of them. It's awesome.
Hello!
Hello!
Have to get this. My carbon fiber nanotube. Yeah, they just put this on there on your bottom here. That sounded weird.
Oh yes.
All right. Come on, Steadicam, wake up. Filming? Yeah, you're filming. We're still filming. All right. We wanted to talk about the Rasks and the pre-order and how things are going. How are things going?
Fantastic. Slow start.
Yeah, I mean, to be truthful, it's been a long time. I know the number, but I'm kind of embarrassed to say it. It's been almost 2 years since we got the first order, which first orders are out for sure.
Yeah.
I think currently we are, I don't know, we're not that far behind. And we're going to be caught up in, how long?
A month, 2 months max.
2 months, like total max.
There's
like,
a few things that will delay
those last few. Right?
Last few. Like we have to send out another batch of DLC.
Maybe 2 batches.
Maybe 2 batches. There were a lot of, especially kind of last minute upgrades. I think the longer people waited, the more they were just like
the more time they had to throw some more money on it.
Yeah.
And that's great too.
Yeah, I love it.
We left those open for a reason.
Yeah.
So we had probably 70-80% success rate with our last batch of DLC. There were some parts that are just chipped and like spots missing and coating rubbing off and like garbage like that that's not Grimsmo acceptable.
And then scratches that obviously happen after DLC, like pretty bad ones.
Right. Like a lot of the pivot screws have just big scratches in them, so we can't use them. And we're not going to send out scratchy parts.
Right.
So we've got to do another batch of that. I'm going to make some parts so that we can get them out to them. And then Damascus, I got to order a bunch more Damascus. We just got some in today, and then we'll have everything we need to finish all the knives and get completely caught up and like wash our hands of this whole pre-order. And it's been a gigantic burden to have.
We appreciate like everybody that stuck with us through this.
Absolutely, I don't want to downplay that at all.
No, I mean it was hard on us to know that we were letting people down for so long.
Yeah.
Just because we wanted the product to be exactly what we had envisioned in the first place.
Right.
And starting to cut corners like a year and a half ago to just mass produce knives just wasn't something we wanted to do.
No, it wasn't possible for us. And I think we annoyed some people due to the length of time.
Yeah. Understandably,
and everybody else stuck around, which greatly appreciated. And I think the knives are better than we ever expected them to be.
Yeah.
And that's saying something.
I think everybody who waited is definitely getting a better product because of it.
Right.
And it's only getting better from here.
Right, and we're becoming better knife makers, better business people, better customer service people throughout this whole process. And just everything is slowly stepping up and improving. And once we break through this wall of the pre-order and get to the other side, life is going to be just completely different. And I think we'll be able to sustain a really solid pace.
Yeah.
That we can keep going. Like, we're never going to bury ourselves with pre-orders again. I know you guys want to get in on another pre-order, and we want to sell you knives, but we're just going to change up the model a little bit. Like, for us to take hundreds of pre-orders and bury ourselves for another year, it is stupid. Yeah. So that's not going to happen again. But we're going to make a consistent stream of knives, right?
Like right now we have, some interest lists going.
Yeah.
So people who are interested in what we want to make, it's nice to know that there's, a bunch out there that are willing to buy a Norseman if we want to make one.
Yep.
So we'll probably do a Rask order kind of like that, and maybe then do small custom batches.
Right.
Like things we can turn around within a couple weeks, and just so nobody's waiting for their specific knife. We want to make everything fast and efficient and
lean and mean, just process flow.
And keep everybody happy.
I think it would be fantastic to get our business to the point where we can turn around an order in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And like make it to your specs. Save for like Damascus or some really, really fancy stuff. But for our sort of normal knives, I think it's totally possible. We're just gonna have to limit our inflow that matches the outflow.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, just a little bit of management and
totally. It's being smart up front so that you're not like buried at the end. So we got Blade Show coming up it's April 28th right now. it's in a month and a few days.
Yeah,
Jeez.
a month at the most.
Yeah, it's like
4
June
weeks.
June 1st or something. Very excited for that. We're sharing a table with Brad Southern again. That was super fun last year. We're gonna shoot some cool video together this year, like we did last year, and just have a lot of fun. Like, can't wait to meet you guys. That's my favorite part of the whole event, is just meeting the customers and the fans and everything, and just having these deep conversations with whoever wants to, basically.
Yeah. Always interesting people coming up and saying hi. So.
Yeah. At this point, like, even though we have 4 weeks till Blade Show, we have zero plans to bring any knives.
Yeah, we have nothing ready. We're focusing, all of our time on Rasks and just doing the most we can with our days.
Right, because this is our priority right now. Is Blade Show's been our goal, our timeline. And like, let's get caught up by Blade Show. Let's get caught up by Blade Show. Past month or so, it's been like, I don't know if we're gonna get caught up. We're gonna try. And then right now, we're thinking like, we can do this. Save for like maybe a Bad Batch of DLC or some like obscure thing, but I think we can do it.
Yeah.
And then if we can squeak in a couple knives to bring to Blade Show, that'd be fantastic too. But that's not our goal. It's not our priority. Like, we're going there to meet customers and build our brand.
Yeah,
but
it'd be nice to have at least something there. But for the most part, it's meet and greet.
Yeah.
Hang out.
Yeah, which is totally fun.
Yeah.
It's like 3 days of party and good people. So can't wait for that. Show me your blade grinding. Just talk about it real quick.
I mean, not much to it, but
Well, except for like a year of practice and experience.
yeah.
So yeah, not much.
Yeah, I mean, mainly it's all on the disc grinder.
Okay.
Right over here, and I don't know. Brad's secret.
Brad's secret. Brad, we're gonna share your secret briefly.
Don't know how big of a secret it is, but
Well, I just want to say real quick, like, I filmed a video earlier this morning, which hopefully is already up right now, by the time you're watching this. But we've gone through so many improvements and method changes and innovations in making these Rask knives that we haven't even talked about yet. Like, it's funny to think about. Grinding these bevels is one thing. I haven't shown you really how Eric does this or how much time he puts into it. So you're going to talk about that briefly.
yeah.
He just follows you everywhere, doesn't he?
Yeah, now that he actually comes up on this side.
It took him, what, a year and a half
At least.
to actually come up these stairs? And we have no idea why, but all of a sudden he can.
I have the same stairs leading up to my apartment, and he does them every single day, 5 times a day. But it just took him way too long to get comfortable coming up. But now he comes up and he's dusty within a day after a bath, though. So
Yeah.
his butt's all like gray all the time.
So
yeah.
you don't necessarily have to share all secrets, but just show the methodology and like explain how it's easy or hard.
Right. So it's just a disc sander. I rounded the edge so that it kind of fits in the radius in the plunge line.
Right.
And then just start with like 220 grit paper and go in and try to get all the machine lines out.
And you said you go super slow.
Fairly slow.
Like, I would think that faster could be better, but
Yeah, faster just gets
you're going
hot
like
really
400
quick.
RPM.
Yeah. So this isn't a fresh sheet of paper, but fairly fresh.
That was a new blade?
Yeah, brand new blade off the mill.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see like all the unevenness in the milling and all the deep lines.
Yeah, I can
maybe.
see it in the light.
Okay. And then in the plunge back here, they're
It's like
really
you're missing
deep.
a section, yeah.
Exactly.
So these are blades that I did with an end mill, which is not end mill, grinding wheel.
Right.
With the old style grinding wheel.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I've talked about on YouTube, but we've been experimenting with lots of grinding wheel stuff on the mill. We've got some new ones in, which I'm very excited about. That'll be its own video.
Yeah, and this current dress on that grinding wheel was pretty good. We definitely had a few batches where they were very terrible.
Right. So I mean, this is something I've been experimenting with. I put dozens and dozens of hours into and spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars trying to figure out the way to do this best. And Eric is still grinding it out for like half an hour per blade or something like that.
Yeah, like the first grit just to get through all of the end mill or the grind lines takes 10 to 15 minutes per blade, and then the next grit or two will just take 5 minutes per blade or 10 minutes. But yeah, it's not no time.
Yeah.
And there was a time where I was spending more like an hour on each blade just trying to get through it all.
Yeah.
So it is getting a lot faster. The grinding wheels versus like over the end mills are a lot better.
Yeah. Bit by bit. I mean, on one hand, we're trying to make, like, at the end of the day, the end product has to be excellent.
Right.
And if we can save time, that's better for everybody.
Yeah, well, any time saved is more knives out there.
Exactly. More knives out the door.
And as you all know, we haven't had that luxury.
No, we have not had more knives out the door for quite a while.
Yeah.
So, every little process change, every little bit by bit helps that goal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we want. Demand is thankfully enormous right now.
Yeah.
And we love it, but we're trying to improve everything so that we can actually satiate people. Yeah. You said you don't use the dust sucker upper very much?
Not since it broke.
It broke.
Yeah.
It
might work.
like fell over and cracked something. Or,
Like all the screws popped out. It might still work, I just don't think it seals properly at the moment.
You just need to look into it.
Yeah. When it doesn't seem like an absolute priority, it just doesn't seem like a priority.
Yeah. All these Damasteel clips?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually, this is something I've spent a lot of time on, is the machining pattern to get the smoothest surface on these contoured clips possible, so that Eric spends less time sanding and polishing them out. And it's been a battle, like trying to find the exact right settings in fusion, the right end mill, the right fixturing technique, do them soft, do them hard. It's been a lot of fun, but a lot of work trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So these ones are right off the mill, they still have to be polished.
Yeah.
And then what's next?
Well, yeah, I'll grind down the top so that it's a lot more smooth before heat treat, just to get some of the work a little bit easier. Deburr any sharp edges, wrap them up, and heat treat and temper.
And why do they have to be heat treated?
Because right now they're extremely soft, and if you actually bend them, they'll just stay there.
Yeah.
When you heat treat, to a nice kind of soft heat treat, you can bend them a little bit, and then they'll stay kind of springy.
Right.
Like titanium.
Like right now, they have no spring property, basically. They bend and they stay there.
Exactly. Yeah, like I could probably bend that all the way in half.
Yeah, you get a nice little L shape pretty easily. But titanium's got this awesome spring property. That's why it makes it an awesome, like the lock bar, you can bend it out of the way and it bends right back. The pocket clip on my knife, if you put a soft Damasteel pocket clip on here and went like this, it would just stay up.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't do that. So, by the way, I've got these little brass screws on mine, which I used for testing purposes on the lathe, and then instead of throwing them away, I just put them on my knife. It looks awesome. So yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So I just wanted to give you guys a cool little update of what's going on here, the kind of stuff we're doing. What's up with these clips? Are they any good?
So 3 of these are accidentally anodized. So like
Accidentalized.
Yeah, like the handles were supposed to be gold, and then it was supposed to get like a Damascus clip or a silver clip.
Right. So you happen to have them. Well, if you can make use of them, good. If
either
not,
I'll have to strip them.
Did you leave those in for a long time?
They're not. Yeah. They are. Matt.
Little screws. Oh, nice job.
Well, you're getting me all flustered.
Yeah. Nice shot. Little pivot screws and everything. Is this the multi-etch?
Multi-etch, yeah.
Right.
So yeah, they're a little matte now. They've been in for 15 minutes or so.
That's not so bad.
No.
Well, this clip is 15 minutes long.
So they've been in for 20, 25 minutes.
Right. even little things like Eric's anodizing process, he's got a very specific thing. It's always tweaking, it's always evolving, right?
Yeah.
The use of multi-etch, the use of wink, the use of rinse waters, the voltages you use, like your cleaning process, like it's always evolving and getting better, right?
Right.
So yeah.
My cleanliness is definitely not getting too much better, but
It's a mess.
It is better than it has been in the past.
Right.
For sure.
I see you moved the thingy up on the wall.
Yeah, it was just
It was
too
taking
much
up table
there.
space, right?
Yeah.
Like that's dumb.
Yeah, and I kept on accidentally sliding stuff into here
And then losing it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And trying to use the drawers a lot more. So having all like
There you go.
these all set up so it's all one place to grab them, and all the stop pins for setup. And
We haven't even really talked about variable size stop pins. Like I would love to do a video describing what this means and how it means. I've mentioned it a couple
it's
times.
magic.
It's magic. It's freaking hard to make all these different sizes to the tolerances that I want.
Yeah.
But I'm getting the hang of it.
Yeah, and when you do, it makes setting up and adjusting knives to be perfect a lot easier.
Right.
Like, really easy. It's just pulling out one pin and putting a new one in.
Yeah, until I run out of sizes and then don't want to make more.
But the good thing with that, it shows that machining is consistent.
Yes.
Because we'll go through phases where I'll like only use 2 pins, like, you know, the same size, small and big.
Right. Cool.
And that's when it's all like dialed in.
Yeah, so just to reiterate once more, because I can never say this enough, we machine every single part on this knife. We don't buy the screws, we make the screws. We don't buy the pivots or the bearings or anything. We make all that stuff. We buy the raw materials,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, we don't forge anything.
no. Like
Although it would be fun.
yeah. You know, I make these cages. I don't make the balls because that'd be stupid, but I make all the spacers and all the screws and all the LBSs and all the pivots and all the stop pins. Okay, show me these real quick.
So these are the DLC fixtures for screws and LBSs and everything.
Why are they silver inside?
Because that's where spacers were and I took them off.
Well, I know the answer, but you have to explain it for the video.
Because these are
Right.
here as well. So yeah, when they DLC coded everything,
These are aluminum fixtures that I made.
right, and they're extremely ingenious so that the DLC can get everywhere. Because one of the issues they were having was, you know, getting all the DLC under all the flat areas,
Especially with the LBS, because you can see it.
which is still an issue on these.
Like this, you can see where my finger's pointing, this blue LBS poking through. You want a black surface to shine through, which is, it's difficult because you gotta...
But pretty much none of the LBSs, sadly to say, actually are black on the backside.
Yeah.
Fully. They're all more like bronze.
That's okay.
So in
You
the
need,
future,
like-
we'll try to get that better.
Yeah,
but
you need like line of sight, yet still
Right.
be able... If I made, I don't know.
like maybe if those posts were a lot taller, so it could get in there more. But
Right. It's difficult.
It's very difficult.
But for the most part, all the little stuff, all the little screws and the pivots turned out really good. Part of the reason for the scratchiness of the pivots, half my design, half their carelessness. I have the pivot screwing in on both sides, and as you can see, the pivot screw side sticks proud of the fixture, which I'm not proud of. If they sunk down, like basically if it's like this right now and you set it down on a wooden table and you scrape it as you pick it up, it's going to scratch your junk. And that's the problem. So I'm going to change that for next time. No big deal.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, I think we're about good here.
All right.
Thank you guys for staying along with us on this journey of updatedness. And we will see you at Blade Show.
Yeah. Can't wait to meet you.
Toodles.
See ya.
Bye.